everybody, I'm just going to wait for everyone to join. My name is Sonia Dr. I am the International United Miss North Carolina Preteen, and welcome to the 8th episode of my life series, Inspire, Unite, Motivate, through which I aim to inspire all of you to make a difference in the world, unite all of the change makers of the world, and motivate everybody to make a difference. So I'm super excited to be on here. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. I see our guest has joined. I think you have to request to join. Oh, I see it.
Hi,
Hi! How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, for those of you tuning in who might not know, I am joined by the International United Miss Alabama Teen. So, hello. Thank you so much for being on here today. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. My name is Julianna Golden, and as she said, I'm the Alabama teen. I'm the youngest of five older siblings, and I obviously live in the South. I have a bunch of crazy animals running about, and my personal platform is environmental based. It's called Be Careful.
I love that. And I especially liked how you incorporated that title. I think that's super creative. And also, I can't believe you're the youngest of five siblings. I have one, and sometimes it drives me a little bit crazy. So
Oh my God.
I can't imagine having like five. That's incredible. So,
I have three older brothers and one older sister.
wow. I have a younger brother, so I'm the oldest.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the platform you mentioned?
Of course. Be Careful was something that I created back in 2019. I was doing a lot of searching, trying to find something that stuck out to me. And what stuck out to me the most was how the bees were declining and all the environmental issues that were really starting to pop up in the social media during that time period. I really started getting involved with environmental cleanups and just learning about different ways that we could protect our bees. And now I write a blog called BeCareful.net where I talk about various environmental issues that may or may not relate to bees every once in a while. My recent one was actually about recycling. And yeah, that's basically what I do. I just spread awareness and teach others on how we can protect bees and other various things in the environment.
I think that's absolutely incredible. I definitely think that environmental issues are starting to become more and more relevant in today's society. And I think it's really important to educate not just youth, but everybody on these issues. So I love that. So you mentioned a blog. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the blog and what is your mission with that?
Yes, my blog, BeCareful.net. If you go onto my page, you can find it in my Be Careful highlight. And what I basically want to do is I want to educate people on not only things that are going on in the environment, but ways that they can help themselves. Like I said, I just talked about ways that you can recycle at home with a recycling bin, but I also spread awareness about bees and other animals that are facing endangerment just like them, such as the manatee crisis. That is something I have recently covered as well. And the goal here is just to spread as much information as I can, at least once a month.
Yeah, I love you're doing it through the internet. I definitely think that people are starting to read more and more online, and I think it's one of the best ways you can spread awareness. And I also like that you're not limiting yourself to bees. I know that a lot of the times it can be really easy to feel limited to a certain platform or certain cause once you choose it, but I love that you're talking about the whole thing. Like you included recycling and other endangered animals. I absolutely love that. So, what message do you want to spread through Be Careful?
I just want to spread that you need to love the environment like you love the people that inhabit within it. No matter what happens in this world, Earth is our home, and we need to take care of it before it gets way too out of hand for us to help anymore.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I definitely think that a lot of the times people take a lot of things for granted, and our environment is one of them. I know it's so easy. I recently participated in a community cleanup, and I think that North Carolina is a very clean state. I moved here like a couple of years ago, and I was astonished on how much emphasis is put on protecting the environment. But even so, I still saw that there was litter, there were so many different things, and I definitely think that we need to start telling people like this is not something to take for granted. So, what are some ways you like to bring awareness about environmental issues other than your blog?
I like to educate others, like face to face or virtually as well, on the importance of the environment and ways that they can help. I tend to talk to primarily my peers and younger about the environment in hopes that maybe they'll take the message to heart and spread it to others. Word of mouth really does help, and eventually that will bring it to their parents, and their parents can pay attention to it. So it's just basically networking myself anywhere that I can.
Yeah, I think networking is a huge part of marketing your platform because you just really want to get yourself out there and talk about your cause. I talked about in a couple of my other episodes, like I didn't really talk a lot about my platform. Like I did talk about it with my friends and stuff, but it still wasn't something that I brought up a lot. And then I started talking about it a little bit more, and I saw how quickly the news spread and how happy my friends were and how like excited they were to get involved and help my mission. So I think word of mouth really does help. And you mentioned that you talk to your peers, especially the younger ones. So what are some ways you do that? Like what kinds of things do you tell them?
I just try to relate to them on some type of level on that we need to protect the environment because it'll be our generation and below that's going to eventually deal with these issues. A lot of my peers were 17 or 16, and
Mhm.
eventually we're going to be at the voting age. And I try to inform them that they need to pay attention to who we're putting in Congress and all that sort of things, so then we know what laws are being made for the environment. And as for the younger generation that I speak to, I inform them the best I can so then they can be prepared as well for these issues.
Yeah, I love that. I know I'm in seventh grade, and my social studies teacher talks about that often. Like when you're electing people, you really want to think about what issues they're representing and what they're really an advocate for. And I love that you're able, like, because you're close to that age, you're able to show your peers, like, you really need to start thinking about these things. And I know as a seventh grader, one of the things that our teachers covered was reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Yes, that is the wording. We love it.
Yes. So, but at the same time, I saw that a lot of people learned about it. They took the test, they did everything, and then it just kind of flew out of their minds. They didn't really think about it after that. So, I think that it's really important to just continue educating our peers and continue reminding them of simple things like this so that we can make our earth like a happier and a healthier place. So, what
Right.
is your favorite service project you've been able to do with your platform?
Recently for Earth Day, I actually read to the special ed group at my school. At my school at Oak Mountain, I'm at a part of a group called PALS. It's where we just go into the special ed classroom for one period and hang out and become friends with them. And recently, I brought in a Dr. Seuss book to read to them about the environment, and honestly, it made me so happy to see them happy. It was one of my favorite things that I've done with my platform.
Yeah, I love when we're able to spread joy with our platform. Not only are we able to advocate for our causes or educate other people about how important our respective causes are, but we're also
Right.
able to bring smiles to other people's faces. So you mentioned that you're a part of a group called PALS. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and some of the work you've been able to do with it?
Yes, it's an elective at my school. I was allowed 3 electives this year since I'm a junior and above. upperclassmen, we're allowed to get more electives. And it's honestly one of my favorite classes. Every day in the mornings, I just go in, I hang out with them, and I honestly love it there. It's a very loving community with them. And some of the things that we do is that we prepare them for jobs outside of school. Like in the mornings, we will clean the cafeteria. And on Fridays, we have something that's called Coffee Store Day, where we sell coffee to all the teachers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, and they
Yeah.
love doing it.
Yeah, teachers, honestly, I feel like they live on coffee sometimes. Their job
Oh,
is so
absolutely.
hard. So I love that you're able to do that. And I love that that's an elective at your school. I definitely know how loving elective communities can be. Like, I took Spanish last semester and I took dance this semester. And the community that we're able to create in that elective classroom is just incredible. And I love that you take that a step further and you're bettering your school community and you're bettering your community in general. And I absolutely love that. So gearing a little bit more towards pageantry, I saw that you were the Alabama junior teen as well for I.U.M. and you're the Alabama teen this year. So how has being a title holder been made you able to market your platform or put yourself out there and make a difference in your community?
With a title like Alabama, down here in the South, I don't know if you know this, but pageants are basically like football for us. And having the title Alabama across me when I go out, it just brings a lot of attention towards you, and people will listen to you when they see you walking out with that sash and crown on. And it's just a wonderful platform to have to be able to talk about what I do and hopefully touch other people with what I do. And not only that, with I.U.M as well, being able to talk to the other girls in our respective categories in competition or below and above, like you and I, it's just a wonderful way to connect.
Yeah, pageants give us sisters by sash, and I totally relate with what you're saying with the sash and crown on. Like, immediately, people are just like, if anything, they're like, that's something sparkly over there.
Yep.
And definitely there's a tension. Like, I remember after I was crowned, I went to a book festival in my area because my platform is partly about literacy. And I went to that festival and I took a couple of pictures with the sash on and I was able to really talk about why literacy is important. And immediately people were like, oh, wow, congratulations. So I think definitely having a title gives you a voice and people are willing to hear that voice. So you are very passionate about bees, which you mentioned, and
Absolutely.
your yes, and your logo has bees. So what inspired your logo? Because I think it's really unique and I've definitely never seen anything like it.
So the idea for it was that, my mom created my platform's email when we were setting up my blog, and it was called Be Careful Earth. So that just sparked an idea in my mind to just have a picture of the earth with a bee hanging on it. So I didn't know this was going to happen. I created a PNG myself to just have a placeholder until I could get something like commissioned. But
Mhm.
my brother's wife, fiance at the time when she did it, she drew it for me and surprised it with me, and it made me so happy. So that's sort of the story behind it.
That is a unique story. I remember when I was coming up with my logo for my platform, which was at the time it was Seeds of Reading, and now it's She, but this was like a year or two ago. And I was really thinking about it, and I was like, seeds and then reading. And then it just kind of sparked this whole idea. So I can completely relate with what you're saying. So, what is your favorite memory when you are working on a service project or something for your platform? Be careful.
I just love the feeling knowing that I'm helping out the environment with whatever I do, whether it be just spreading information or donating a bee house to a school or a community of some sort. Everything that you do, in my opinion, you indirectly or directly affect the environment in some way, and that is
Mhm.
just something I keep in mind with everything I do.
Yeah, you mentioned a bee house. So can you tell me a little bit more about what that is? And you mentioned giving it to a school. So can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, back last year in the spring, I got these bee houses. What they are is they're basically like a second hive, as I call them. They're like a little house, and they have columns that bees can go into to lay their eggs. And it's just basically like another incubator source for them. So then they have more space and more bees that are there able to hatch. And recently, I like donated it to a one of the elementaries around here in my area,
Mhm.
and they've been taking great care of it, and I really do appreciate that where I'm from, people do listen and they do support with what I do.
I love that you were able to give it to the elementary school because I think everything really starts with their youth. When we're able to educate them, they go on to be better adults, more educated, and then they educate, and it's just this whole cycle. And I know when I was in elementary school, I used to be scared of bees. And I remember in first grade, we were outside, and there was a girl, and she got stung by a bee. And ever since then, I was like, oh my God, bees. But at the same time, I think they're really misunderstood, to be honest. They are
Really.
very helpful to our environment, and we really need to start teaching people about that. Like, you shouldn't be afraid of them. I know there's definitely people out there who were like me. So, you mentioned a couple of environmental issues you work on. Bees, obviously. You mentioned something about manatees. So, can you tell me a little bit more on what kind of environmental issues you're working on and spreading awareness about?
A lot of it right now is just spreading information via my blog about the other environmental things that are happening. With the manatees, when I saw on the news that they were back on the endangerment list because they're frequently on and off, my heart broke and I immediately started researching and putting stuff out there that people could do just to help them out. One of them being is, you look out I, when you're out in the water, making sure your boat isn't harming anything. But another thing is that people don't understand is that with certain animals, you have to call wildlife. I know that we want to help everything that we can. It's not like with bees where you can help them if you see something injured. But when it comes to like manatees, you have to call wildlife and you have to let them know that you see a sick manatee. I don't know if this makes sense, but what I'm basically trying to say is I just try to spread as much as information as I can.
Yeah, I know it's a human instinct that you immediately think, oh my God, like I need to be a service. I need to help this animal. And I was watching a documentary in health class about plastic in the oceans, since you mentioned manatees, about like whales and other animals that are eating the plastic in the oceans and it's harming them. And in one of the clips, I saw a whale that was injured, and there were all these people surrounded. They were trying to help the whale, but at the end, you have to call wildlife and you have to tell the professionals what you're seeing, because I just think that you need to call people who can actually help them, because in the end, even if you really want to help them, it's a little bit difficult. So, other than being a title holder and promoting awareness through your blog, what are some other ways you're able to promote your message?
My friends have been really great help when it comes to this. One of my friends, their name is Rose, and one of the things that they have done for me is that they have told people about my platform and have spread the message online as well. And that is just something I find so beautiful when it comes to having friends outside of pageantry or within pageantry, is how they just love to spread your platform and support you with what you do.
Yes, definitely. I know all of my friends have definitely been super helpful when it comes to my platform. They're super supportive of it. They're, like you mentioned before, like word of mouth. They've been able to talk to other people, and they've really just, more than anything, they've been able to give me that moral boost to keep on going and do what I do. So definitely, I'm agreeing that friends, and not just friends, when friends tell other people or even teachers, it's just incredible the community you're able to build. So within your school, you mentioned your elective class and your friends, but in general, how has your school been able to support you in your goals?
They have done really well with this. Don't mind this. My cat just decided to join.
That's
And
adorable.
they've been very supportive with me, and they've always have been there when it came to my platform. I know with the clubs that I'm in, such as my school's GSA, choir, pals, all of that. They all support me, and the teachers within it support me as well. And I'm able to like write on their boards to subscribe to my platform and all that stuff. So it's just a really nice community there.
Yeah, so another question I have is you said you're able to write on the boards, you said you're able to really spread your message that way. But if somebody wants to start volunteering or they want to get involved with this cause, what are some tips you have for them to get started? Because I know it can be hard to start volunteering or to start doing something like the incredible things you're doing. So, what are some tips you have?
I would definitely look up environmental groups in your local area, things that you can volunteer with. I know down here in Alabama, we have the Clean Up the Cahaba Day. It's the Cahaba is a river here, and you just go down there and you clean up trash that may fall within it. So that is a really good way to help out. I would also suggest maybe installing a recycling bin at your house. That's also a really great way to help. And if you are 18 and above, always make sure that you're registered to vote so then you can vote for environmental laws that can benefit us.
I love that. And you mentioned the recycling bin, and I just wanted to add because it was really funny. Where I used to live, we did not have like recycling bins. Well, we did, but you had to like go find them and then you had to stay there. But then when I moved to North Carolina, I was astonished because outside every house, you have a trash bin and you have a recycling bin. And I think that's just so awesome because it, no matter what, you are helping the environment. It's right there and it's accessible, and I love that. So we had a question in the comments, and somebody asked, where can we find the bee house and where do you place it?
You can find them at a lot of gardening shops, even at like Walmart right now. I know that they are selling it in their gardening section.
Mhm.
And if not that, you can always find them online. And the best place to put them, they'll have instructions on there, but I
Mhm.
would place them at a tree where you can hang it on there for bees. Just somewhere nice and shaded and somewhere near plants.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about how bees are a little bit misunderstood. So for all the audience members out there who still might have some doubts or they still might be scared of bees, do you want to just go ahead and talk a little bit about how bees really help the environment?
Yes, I was also one of those people that were deathly afraid of bees. I'm still kind of scared of them when I see them, but it's very important to just remember, do not knock over my set, baby. It's very important to remember how beneficial they are to the environment. Without bees, our food wouldn't grow. And I saw something online where it said in about 4 years without bees, all life on Earth would just completely die out. So, what helped me to get over my fear was to remember how much they help us and everything in this world grow. That's just the best way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true for everything. Like everything, every animal or everything on this planet really has a role and really helps our community and our environment thrive in some way. And I like that you're able to spread that message. Like a lot of the times when things like this are happening, like bees are dying out or manatees are close to being endangered, or even not just manatees, but other animals, it's just a lot of people aren't aware of it. And once they become aware of it, they're ready to help and ready to do something for this cause. So I love that. Also, we have some comments here that say you have such a cute cat and your cat is super adorable. So we start.
Feral.
That's
Her name's
cute.
Lulu.
Hi, Lulu. So we started talking about pageantry and how being in pageantry has allowed you to really make a bigger impact. So, just out of curiosity, how long have you been doing pageants?
Ever since I was 3 years old, so 14 years.
That is an incredible. I'm not even 14 years old.
I
Well,
know, you're making me feel old. No.
so someone in the comments has asked, any fun memory of internationals last year? I saw that you went last year and you made top 10, which is incredible. So do you have any fun memories?
One of the judges had a fan, and when
Mhm.
he saw that I made top 10, he whipped it out, started fanning it and going as I took my walk around the stage. That was definitely a real big highlight for me. But not only that, but being able to compete with my sister, that was also a really fun thing for me.
Oh
And I
wow, you competed with your sister?
Yes, my sister, she is 24, and we've been doing pageants together ever since, well, I was 3.
That's awesome. I My brother is like 5 years old, and I know that whenever I'm like practicing or something, he's always like in it, and he's always my biggest cheerleader. So I think that it's awesome that you were able to take that a step further. And not only was your sister and you for your sister cheerleaders for each other, she was able to compete with you. So to
Yes.
end our live together, if somebody wants to be a part of your platform, how can they get involved?
Well, I would definitely check out my blog. I do have in the description a hashtag that you could join in, and I would just start posting things within it, start spreading information because honestly, information's the best way to educate somebody. Showing them how the environment's being affected and harmed on a daily basis can also help. And honestly, just education's the biggest thing here.
Yes. So if you are watching the live replay of this video, I will link that blog down in the description. And if you're watching live, just make sure to go check out that live replay so that you can find that. So thank you so much for being a guest on here. I was super honored to have you on here, and I love all of the work that you're doing. So thank you once again for being
You,
here.
I'm so happy to be here. I really did enjoy it.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed it, and it was so fun talking to you. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you at internationals.
I'm so excited. We definitely have to hang out.
Yeah, definitely. Bye.
Bye.
That was super fun, and make sure to stay tuned on this page because I'll be posting very soon which girl boss I'm going to have here on next who is changing the world. And if you have a platform that you're very passionate about and would love to talk about, I would love to have you on here to have you share your story. So just DM me for some info, and I would love to have you. So bye everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and see you soon.